Sometimes you and I know exactly what we need to do, but for some reason we can't seem to get motivated to do it. It seems as though there are obstacles, like there are barriers literally preventing us, holding us back from doing those things that we need to do. Sometimes there are beliefs and mindsets that hold us back, that prevent us from moving forward and doing the things that we know we need to do. And sometimes these mindsets and beliefs are what we call myths. They're things that we believe, that we've been taught, that we've heard, we've read, we've watched on videos. Right? And they're myths. They're not really true. Right? There may be some truth to them, but they're not completely true. And in many cases, they're not true for you. Right? They might be true for someone else, but they're not necessarily true for you. My name is Michael Williams, and in this video, you and I are going to talk about several myths and barriers that might be preventing you from showing up effectively and consistently online. The title of this entire series is 7 Reasons You're Virtually Invisible Online. You have a great service. You feel called to do it. You've helped people already, but you're simply not getting found by the number of people that you'd like to get found by. You simply are not able to make the impact that you would like to make, and therefore you're probably not making the living that you'd like to make. But there is hope. There is hope. And that's what we're going to begin to talk about in the rest of this series, because the other part of this series is 7 steps you can take to start showing up now. 7 steps you can start to take to showing up now. So in this particular video, though, in this video, we're going to look at several myths and barriers that might be preventing you from showing up. And then in the next series of videos, we will look at those 7 steps, right? Those 7 steps that you can take to start showing up now. So let's jump in and let's talk about these myths. I've jotted down just a couple of notes because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So we're going to talk about maybe 5 or 6 myths that you may have, that I've had, with regards to showing up online. The first thing that I want to share with you is one of the best ways now for you to show up online is through video. Yes, writing articles is great. I love audio, doing audio as well. But video is probably going to be one of the best ways for you to start showing up consistently. Why is that? Well, video is the next best thing to you actually being there with that person. I want you to think about this whole process, this whole thing is developing a relationship with your people. And by your people, I mean those people that want and need and maybe even are looking for what you have to offer. Think about this as you developing a relationship, like you're dating them in a sense, right? So if you're dating someone, you don't just go in and have 1 or 2 dates and then get married, right? Go in 1 or 2 dates and then say, okay, boom, we're in a committed relationship. Why? Now, I'm sure that this does happen. But the problem with that is that there hasn't been enough time, enough contact, enough consistency to build trust, for you to get to know that person, for you to understand how they think, how they act, how they behave. Do they really care about you? Do you trust them? So we need time to develop these elements of our relationship, to just start feeling comfortable with that person, to believe what they're saying. So what we want to do then is, if you think about this process as you're building a relationship with that person and building trust, then you know that time, spending time with that person, is a very important what? It's a very important element of this process. Time and consistency. Time and consistency. So, what are some things about video that helps you do that? Well, first of all, the person can look in your eyes. They can see your face. There's something about your body language that is able to communicate this trust and this caring that writing just doesn't do. It just simply cannot do. Now, writing can do it, but it can take longer and it's very, very different than video. A voice can also help as well, audio. But when they see your face and they look into your eyes, there's something very special about that. So when you produce videos on a consistent basis, people will begin to tell you, and they'll think, they'll feel like they know you already, like they've met you in person. So video is a very, very powerful tool, but there's some myths and there's some barriers that keep many people from actually producing, from actually shooting and sharing videos consistently. Not just one, but shooting and sharing them consistently. So let's talk about the myths. One myth is that there's too much tech involved, right? There's too much tech involved. So a person says, well, I'm not a techie, and I got to have all this equipment, and I got software, and I got to do editing, and I got microphones, or I want to make sure that my videos look professional. And in order to do that, I need to have a lot of tech stuff. Well, that's actually not true. You don't have to have a lot of tech stuff. There are some things you are going to want to do to make sure that your videos look professional, but you don't need to have a lot of tech stuff. So just briefly, I'm going to have to do another series on this, but essentially I'm recording this video, right, in my office at home, and I'm using an iPhone. I started out using an iPhone 5, and then I think I skipped the S and I went to a 6 and then a 6 Plus. So I have a 6 Plus, but you can use an iPhone 5. I have used Android, and Android does do great videos, but I personally prefer using an iPhone for video. I've seen a difference when I've actually uploaded the video to YouTube. I've seen a difference in the quality. But I'm not saying that there is a difference, I'm just saying I experienced a difference. So I prefer using iPhone. In other words, what I'm saying is that you can use a smart device, right, a smartphone to record your videos. And most of you have that. So there you go. You don't have to be that techie to use your smartphone. If you want great audio, then you are going to have to make a little bit of an investment. So I have a hookup here where I just have an adapter that plugs into my iPhone. I'm looking at it right now. And I went ahead and purchased a wireless microphone system. There are various price points for those systems. I purchased some cheaper ones and they didn't work out too well. And so I ended up purchasing a more professional one. And I spent about $500 or $600 for it. You may think that's a lot of money, but I do a lot of video and I want it to sound good. Now, I've also done some videos and have seen and heard some videos where the person didn't use a wired mic or a wireless mic, and it sounded fine, right? It sounded fine. It was sufficient. But if you're going to be producing a lot of videos, you want the sound quality to be great, and so you might want to invest in that. I went ahead and eventually purchased a few lights, right, to light me up. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You're talking maybe $100 and some to get a few lights. Or if you can have a window behind your camera facing you, right? A window behind your camera, not behind you, but behind your camera, then you can do that for now. And there's other cheaper lights that you can buy. So lighting doesn't have to be a big issue. Some of you may want to do lighting outside. Do you have to do editing? Well, not really. The only thing you might have to edit out is the beginning and perhaps the end. So when I walk up to push the button to start, I might edit that out. Or when I walk up to push the button to stop, I might edit that out. And guess what? You can do all of that in YouTube. You can edit your videos. You can join videos. You can combine all in YouTube. You don't need any additional software. So we'll get into that later in some of our sessions where we talk about equipment and techie stuff. But I just wanted to tell you, I wanted to briefly explain to you the setup that I have. Oh, and let me just back up. A couple of other things that I have. I have a tripod, right? You can buy tripods, again, different price points. And there's a little bracket that you buy. And all of this stuff you can get from Amazon, right? You get all of it from Amazon. There's a little bracket that sits on top of my tripod that I put my iPhone in to hold it, okay? And that costs next to nothing, right? So you can buy all of this stuff from Amazon, and I have a list, and I even have links to get all of this stuff, to have your own little personal studio. And it's not that techie, right? You don't have to be a techie to record high quality videos. Now I do have a HD webcam that I use when I want to do higher quality videos. But right now, I wanted to model how you could record a series of videos that you put up on YouTube, that you put on your website, using your smartphone, okay? So, one myth that people have is this is too much tech involved. Well, that's not really true. There is some tech involved, but it's not too much. Number two, it's too expensive. Well, I could, if I wanted to, I could just use my iPhone or my smartphone. And I could just make sure the lighting was good, and I could maybe, and I don't even have to have a tripod. I could hold it if I wanted to. So you don't actually need to spend a lot of money. You could just use your iPhone to get started, or your smartphone. If you wanted to take it a few steps further, then yes, you might have to end up spending several $100s to get everything that you need for high quality video, and to make it easy so you're not standing there like that. So it's really not that expensive. If you want to make it easier and you want to increase the quality, yes, you'll need to invest a little bit of money. But once again, if you get one client as a result of having a series of videos out there, it's worth it, yes? All right, so second myth is that it's too expensive. And my response to that is that it doesn't have to be expensive at all. You can start off pretty much with what you have. You might just need a couple of items, so you will need to invest some money. Number three, it's too time consuming. When I first started, I bought a Consumer Pro video, and it was time consuming, right? I bought a Consumer Pro video, I had a wireless microphone system, and it took a long time to not record the video, but to get the video from my phone, to import it from my video camera into my computer and then edit it. Oh my goodness. It took so long, I actually slowed down on shooting and sharing videos. So it can be time consuming, but it doesn't have to be. You can literally record videos from your mobile device and shoot it straight up to YouTube from your mobile device. Or you can record video and download it to your computers, plug it in, bring it in, and then upload it. It doesn't have to be time consuming. You don't have to do a lot of editing. I have a process for preparing for videos where once you get started, you don't stop. You don't stop and you don't edit out stuff. When you and I are talking, when we're conversing, we don't edit out our conversation, right? We just converse. So there's a way that you can get into a rhythm and a flow where you can stay focused and you don't have to edit out stuff. So another myth is that it's too time consuming. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Another one is that it's just too complicated in general, and this kind of applies to all the other stuff. It's too complicated. There's too many different moving parts. There's too many steps that I have to take to record the video, to get it up, and to share it and all of that. And the truth is, it can be complicated, right? It can be complicated. But what I want to do is I want to help to streamline this process for you, make it less complicated. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I can't tell you how many years I've been recording videos, and I've made it easier for myself to shoot and share videos because I don't want to take a lot of time using complicated processes and uploading and downloading, importing and editing and all that kind of stuff. So I've streamlined the process and I can share that with you. It doesn't have to be that complicated, okay? Finally, some people have said, and this is a myth, some people have said the shorter the better, short videos, make sure your videos are short. And the thing about that, there's some truth to that, is if you do a short video, you have to spend some time really preparing for it. You have to spend more time preparing when you do a short talk than when you do a long talk, because you can kind of ramble if you're doing a longer talk. When it's short, you need to get right to the point, which can obviously increase your preparation time. And if you have to do that all the time, chances are you won't spit out, right? You won't produce as many videos as you really need to. So the shorter the better. There's some truth to that. You do want to have some shorter videos, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 90 seconds. There's been some studies done that show the optimal time for videos, right? The optimal time for viewer retention. And obviously 30 seconds, 1 minute, maximum 90 seconds. However, many of my videos are 20 minutes long, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. And many people don't watch those videos, right? It's just too long. But let me just share this with you. If someone's really interested in what you're talking about and they really need it, guess what? They're going to watch your video, or they're going to come back to your video. They're not going to say, oh, that's too long. If you're engaging them, you're being authentic, and you're speaking with authority, and what you're saying is accurate, people are going to come back and they're going to watch your videos. Again, I've been doing this for years. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos out there, and every one of my clients tell me, I watched your video. Clients that hire me tell me, I watched your videos on YouTube, and many of them have been long. So don't let people put into your mind that you have to produce all short videos. Here's something else. Longer videos can hold a little bit more weight with YouTube. So if you have a video that's 10, and 15, and 20 minutes long, YouTube says, wow, this person spent some time putting together or shooting and recording this video. And often longer videos can rank higher and better than shorter videos, right? So if you just have a whole bunch of short videos, then YouTube might think this person's just advertising something. The quality of their content might not be as good if it's short, because it's more difficult to develop your thoughts, develop an idea in a short video. Doesn't mean shorter videos won't rank. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that having a mix of longer videos to develop your thoughts helps your ranking. It will help your channel, and it will give people a greater opportunity to develop a relationship with you. So we talked about 5 myths that people have. One is that it's too much tech involved. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Number 2, too expensive. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money. Number 3, too time consuming. You know what I'm going to say next. It can be, right? It was for me, but it doesn't have to be. Number 4, too complicated in general. Just too many different steps. How do we record the video? How do we get the video out? How do we edit it? How do we get it up on YouTube? And how do we get it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram? And it can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. And then finally, shorter videos. I got to record shorter videos. Yes, you're going to need some shorter videos, but you can also record some longer videos, and just understand that if someone's into what you're saying and they need what you have, they're going to watch your video. They might not watch the whole thing at once, but they're going to come back because there's going to be something about you that resonated with them, and they're going to watch. Now, some of you will not watch this entire video, but some of you will, because it resonates with you. And those are the people that you want to connect with anyway, right? The ones that it resonates with, the ones that need what you have to offer. Now let's go ahead and look at some of the barriers, which are going to be closely related to myths. But let's look at the barriers. The barriers are often a little more internal. Sometimes they have to do with beliefs and mindsets and things. So let's look at a few barriers. One barrier that people have is, I don't know how, right? I just have no idea how to do this. And that's a legitimate barrier. Simply a lack of knowledge of how to do something, how to record, how to shoot and share your videos. How do we do that? Well, you can learn, right? You can learn, and I can help you with that. So I don't know can be a barrier, but if you understand the power and the impact that your videos can have on people, and that it can have on your ability to walk in your calling, whatever you're called to do, your videos can give you the ability to do that. It can give you the ability to reach people that you never would have been able to reach had you not recorded those videos. I just have enrolled a client from Portugal, from Lisbon, Portugal. And here's the thing. The client would have never found me had it not been for my videos. Most of my clients, especially in the beginning, were from other parts of the world who found me on YouTube. One of my first clients found me on YouTube, hired me and flew me to India on 2 different occasions. Now, this person was wealthy enough where they also contacted Anthony Robbins, to say, hey, do you guys have a program to help people stop stuttering? They said, well, that's not really what we do. They contacted me, and they flew me in to work with their son. They would have never found me had it not been for YouTube. And many of my clients, again, are from other parts of the world, other parts of the country. They find me because of the videos. So you're going to be able to impact people that you never thought, you never even knew you would impact, that you would reach because of your videos. All right, so you don't know how, you can learn how, and you'll see how much of an impact it'll make on your life, on your business, but more importantly on the people that you want to impact. Number two, I'm not a techie and I'm not good with tech stuff, right? So this is a barrier, and obviously this is related to one of the myths, right? That there's just too much tech involved, that's a myth. But personally, I'm not a techie. I'm not good with tech stuff. Again, you can learn, and you can create kind of your own process to streamline it and make it easy for you to shoot and share videos. The technology is here now, and they've made it pretty easy. Once you work out a couple of bugs, because there's usually bugs, you try to do something that doesn't work out the way you want. So you work with someone to help you streamline that process. You don't have to be a techie to shoot lots and lots of good quality video to share with your audience. So I'm not a techie is another barrier. I don't look good on camera, right? So some people think, well, I don't really like the way I look on camera. I don't like my face. I don't like this angle. I don't like the lighting. I don't like the way my nose looks. Those are things you're going to have to get over. Because when I first started, I was like, man, I don't really like the way I sound, or I don't like the way that I look on video. And some of that has to do with our self-concept, with self-esteem, with how we feel about ourselves. And understanding that, yes, you want to make sure that your hair is done and that you're wearing appropriate clothing and that your background is okay. But you just got to understand that the people that are going to connect with you are going to connect with you, right? If they don't like the way you look, then you probably don't want to do business with them. If somebody doesn't like the way I look, I don't want to do business with them. If that's a barrier for them, that's fine. That's okay. Find someone that looks different. You gotta feel good about who you are and how you look. And a part of that, listen, a part of that comes from just doing videos, right? And just getting used to seeing it. Do the video, look at yourself, right? Get used to watching it, and it'll feel really weird and funny at first, but just keep doing it and you'll get used to it. So I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like my voice. You might need to just continue to do those videos and work on your voice a little bit, right? Work on your voice a little bit so that you get used to the way you sound on video, which is probably the major problem. It's probably not that you sound bad. You might need to increase your volume a little bit. You might need to just do some work on your voice so that you sound fine. Let some other people watch and listen to your video. You might sound fine to them, right? You might sound fine. Now, here's another one which is related to this, okay? This is going to be actually number 4. I feel awkward. I feel too formal. I feel stiff. It feels fake. Again, that comes from practicing. That comes from practicing. The more you practice, and I actually have a system and a process for preparing for your videos where you either don't need any notes or you can just have bullet points like I have, right? Where you can prepare for your video, where it comes from here, and you can speak to the camera. And the more you practice this, the more you practice it, the more comfortable, the more relaxed, the more natural you become. It just comes with time and practice. And you might want or need a little bit of coaching, but a lot of this you can do on your own, just from maybe modeling other people, as well as just doing it and watching your own videos and getting used to it, okay? So trust me, this is something that you can relatively quickly overcome and become more comfortable seeing and hearing yourself on video, and also feel more natural and conversational. So as I'm speaking to you in this video, I feel like I'm conversing with you, like I'm looking into your eyes. I don't feel like I'm talking to my iPhone or I'm talking to a camera. I'm talking to you. I'm imagining you sitting watching this video and I'm talking to you. Does it feel that way to you, right? So I feel awkward. A 5th one is I'm shy, self-conscious, what will people say? You're putting yourself out there in video, people are going to criticize it. Some people will. I've had people tell me all kinds of things. I've had people call me a monkey, call me a nigger. I've had people say that. I've had people say you're ugly. I've had people give me critical feedback, which actually was pretty good, You need to work on your sound, you need to work on your lighting, or get to the point, you're taking too long. I've had people say that. And I said, okay, well, maybe should I get to the point, or is this one of those longer videos? Sometimes I might need to get to the point. Other times it's my speaking style. It's the way that I engage people. So if you don't like that, then that's fine. Find someone that you do like. This is my style. This is how I speak. This is how I engage people. So you're going to be criticized, and some of that feedback is going to be good for you, and some you're going to need to ignore. You're going to have to sift that out, and it feels bad when someone leaves a bad comment or a critical comment, which might be good. It does feel a little bad. You just got to deal with it, right? You got to know that's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process. So if you're self-conscious about how you look, how you sound, about being criticized, about receiving feedback, you're going to have to work through that because it's worth it. Let me tell you, it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Finally, you don't have enough content. Someone says, well, I don't have enough content. Well, if you're good at what you do and you're passionate, I have a system, I have a way for you to develop content for your videos. So trust me, you do have enough content already for your videos. And it's simply a matter of organizing your content in a way, being a little creative, and coming up with content. You have enough content. So let's just do a brief review and then we'll be done. So there's some barriers. One is I don't know how. You can learn how. And it can be very easy and it can be a lot of fun. Number two, I'm not a techie. I'm not good with tech stuff. Yes, it might be a little challenging, it might be a little frustrating at first, but once you see a streamlined system for shooting and sharing your videos, you'll be able to do it. You don't have to be a techie. I work with plenty of people that are not techies. Number three, I don't look good on camera. You've got to get over that, right? Do what you need to do, but it might just be a matter of you getting used to seeing yourself, okay? That's number three. Number four, I don't sound good. There might be some things you can do to work on your voice a little, but again, it might just be you getting used to hearing yourself on camera. Number four, I feel awkward, too stiff, feels kind of fake. Practice. Practice. Imagine that you're speaking to someone in person. Imagine that you're looking into that person's eyes and you're speaking. You're not making a presentation, you're having a conversation. And again, it just takes practice. I'm shy, self-conscious. What will people say? Some people are going to criticize you. You got to get used to it. You got to get over it, because if you want to impact people with your business, with your service, this is going to be one of the very best ways to do that. So it's worth it. It's worth it to kind of get over that, to work through that self-consciousness, that shyness, and the feedback that you're going to inevitably receive. Finally, you don't have enough content. That's really easy to fix. We can fix that quickly. So thank you for taking the time. I'm sure that some of you had to come back and watch this in parts. Thank you for taking the time to join me in this video as we talked about myths and barriers to your showing up more consistently on video. In the next series of shorter videos, they will be a lot shorter, we're going to be talking about the steps you can take to start showing up online. This is Michael Williams, and thank you once again.